Smells quite lovely. Well, there's a lot of flavor there. That's going to develop into something really, really nice. You know, one of the perks of getting to video and watch you make your own kind of wine is to realize which days are good days or better days towards making wine and which one's not so good. I can tell my demeanor on this one is just more relaxed, chill. I probably don't have a lot of projects going on throughout the house. So you can see just even from the bentonite mixing, I'm following the methods that I know. And this kit, it just ends up being a really easy kit from start to finish. I mean, other than painting my shirt here with some of the juice that splattered back up, don't wear a white shirt. Anyway, this kit was just really easy start to finish, and it's a very rewarding kit. I could see this as being a red wine that I make more than once. I might mess around and try different yeast or something with it, but it turned out really well. You know what color shirt you should not wear when you're making red wine? Well, I wasn't thinking. Now this kit has been made a while back. I finally got around to editing this whole thing so that you guys get a chance to see it. As it sits right now, I think this wine kit's got somewhere in the ballpark of 67-ish days. And it's tasting better as time goes on. It's mellowing out and all the flavors are kind of blending together. All the water I'm using here is reverse osmosis without any additives or anything like that. It's just straight RO water. Parts per million on it's roughly about 60 to 70. It kind of varies depending on how the tap water is kind of coming in. Now, most of you might be able to get away with using tap water. Our water in town lately has been garbage, so I'm using reverse osmosis and have been for all of my wine kits because I do have a RO tap in my house. Once we finish topping it up to the 6-gallon mark, we'll go ahead, we'll add the wood chips, give it a good stir, and get that hydrometer reading and the date for us to keep track of. And boy, if you could smell this stuff. You could drink this as is. This smells unbelievably fruity. Very aromatic. Clearly there's some quality grapes in this kit. Now the instructions say to add the wine chips, or the oak chips, I mean, and then get the hydrometer reading. I'm going to get that hydrometer reading first. It looks like a 0.9, I think. This is my first time using oak chips. I don't know if they're just always going to sit on the top. I imagine so. It does say to stir them in. We'll give it some velocity. Well, that seems to work pretty good. At least we got them saturated enough. The yeast should take hold. All right, so the swirling is slowed down a little bit. Next is the yeast, and we'll close it up and put an airlock on it. So I'm just going to kind of sprinkle that on top. And we'll get the lid back on. And an airlock with sanitizer solution. And that's it. Now we'll just put this thing in a nice spot on the heated tile floor. Should give it a nice temperature. And we got nothing left to do here until our day 14. Usually I'll try to lift up the primary carboy the day prior to whatever step it is. So in here would have been best if I would have done this day 13. Gives just everything a chance to settle back down so you're coming out with a cleaner siphon off. Before I forget, I actually managed to grab the hydrometer reading on this one, so that's kind of nice. Now, if I would buy this siphon hose again, it's kind of, you can kind of see it there in a video. It's not totally to the bottom, and there's a little bit of splashing going along. I guess I could lift up that carboy and put it on a chair as well. The siphon did work really well. As far as picking up all the juice, I managed to get just about all the wine out. Same kind of additives that go into any of the Wineco or the Vineco kits. You got your sorbate and potassium that kind of goes in, and that stabilizes everything out. Now, what I did notice on this one, and this is the first time I noticed it because the red wine, it shows up really, really well. It's super easy to see when you degas this thing just by looking on the side of the carboy. Chitosan goes in as well here. This is preparing it for the next day when we're going to be adding the Chitosan so we can stabilize and degas and also clear the wine as well. Be careful where you get this stuff. Don't do what I did. Don't get it everywhere and leave yourself a mess. And I'm cleaning up here with, these are the rags I specifically just used for wine making. So they're always sanitized. Now the only thing we got to do here in this one, I just leave it exactly where it's sitting. Just add the Chitosan, stir it in really well, and that's all there is to do on day 15. It's super quick and easy. And this will get your whole wine to get into its clearing phase. This to me always feels like a rewarding step because it's like, oh, it's not that far away. Like this is the last ingredient that's going in. Now it's just a matter of time before I can enjoy what I've made and try it out for the first time. After about 5 or so days, you can kind of see it right at the start. Give this thing a twist and that'll let all the sediment that's kind of stuck to the side of the glass fall down and make a really nice yeast cake. Here again, you can kind of see that hole. Oh yeah, here you can see it really good. That hose is just like 4 inches too short for my countertop to go down. So there's always splashing at the beginning. I don't know if I'm worsening my wine by doing that or if I should be getting a longer hose. I don't know. Feel free to leave me comments, whatever your opinion is valued. Now for day 28 on this one, everything went right according to schedule. It's ready to go into bottle. I am alone bottling this one. So here's kind of my setup. You can kind of see that everything is ready close by and within arm's reach or within a couple of steps. With the exception right now of the corks, I've got them just soaking here in a container off the side, but they're going to go into that plate and I'm going to have them literally like right beside me when I'm, or right beside the cork or when I'm bottling these things up. The first couple of times I did this, I was really uneasy about, can I move fast enough? How quick is this going to go? Am I going to spray red wine everywhere or am I going to spray white wine all over the floor? But like even the small details there, it's in a pan and the pan is on a towel. And these are all just old used up towels that we just use for rags now throughout the house. But you can see the timing isn't bad. That's the first bottle. And this is kind of where you get yourself into a rhythm. I've already got a cork in there. The corks are just literally on my left there. Correction, they're on my right side. You'll see me grab one here. So everything is super close, right nearby for this to work out well. Even the bottles, they're just on the counter, so I gotta go grab them. But you can tell, like, there's still time for me to move the bottles where I want them and, you know, take my time. I'm not going crazy here, and there's no excessive rushing or anything. Once I get it all done, I like to cap them just so I can put a number on the top, and that's kind of how I keep track of my wine. I do prefer to use the boiling water. That seems to be the trick for me. That gets me a really nice vacuum seal type look on my caps. Some of them will take more and less time depending on the color. I'm not sure if they're made of different materials or whatever, but if you don't get a seal that's that tight, just give them maybe a little bit longer in the boiling water. And of course, whatever's left over in the bottom of the carboy, this is where we get a chance to pour it into a glass or pour it into whatever you want, or just take a swig right out of the carboy if you please. And now for the best part of making wine. There's a chance to give it a taste. Smells quite lovely. Well, there's a lot of flavor there. That's going to develop into something really, really nice. And the oakiness is not overpowering. It's going to blend into this wine really well. Vel Rosa Italy, that's the kit. I can't wait to give this thing some age. Just from me tasting it right now, if I were to guess, I would say probably between 6 and 9 months, but I'll post back once she's got some age and let you guys know how it tastes.